talked to Bianca Griffioen, Kanban Train the Trainer coach and consultant at Kanban University. Why is it important to develop leaders within the company?
So obviously you need good leaders in your company. So why is it important to develop leaders within the company? I'm not sure if it is important just to develop leadership within the company. I think you both need leaders from within and both from leaders from outside the company. Leaders from outside the company bring new ideas, fresh perspectives. On the other hand, existing leaders know the organization and they can draw from their experience. And we have a saying in Dutch, which is nieuwe bezems vegen schoon, maar de oude bezems kennen hoekjes en gaten. Which is literally translated something like, new brooms sweep clean, but old brooms knows all the nooks and the crannies. So this Dutch saying actually tells it all. It says that you have value in both new and in existing leaders, depending on the context of your organization and very much on the culture of your organization. You either need to hire external leadership or you need to develop the leadership that is already in your organization. Either way, make sure you have a clear plan. Make sure that you know what type of leaders do you need, what positions do you have to fill, what do you expect from those leaders, who is capable of filling what position, what does it take for someone to accomplish the right skill set. Is it that a realistic question? Is that even a reasonable question to ask? And what happens to the leaders that do not get a new position in your organization? So when you go through a transformation and you evolve in your maturity as an organization, you really need to have a good plan, which is transparent and clear for everyone. And on top of that, you need to ask yourself the question, am I able, as leader of this transformation or this evolution, am I able to show the path to all the leaders that are in my company? Am I able to grow leadership within or even hire leadership from outside the company? So the moral of the story is that when you have a clear plan and when you have good vision on how leadership should look like in your organization, you can avoid things like internal competition, because everyone knows what his or her position is in that company. And I think that that's the most important thing you can do as a leader. Be clear, transparent, and respectful.
What is the role of leaders in driving change initiatives?
Leaders have a very important role in any change initiative, whether it's maturity, evolution, or whether you're trying a new product or whether you're looking for a whole new markets for your products to sell. Change doesn't happen by itself. It needs to be managed, and leaders are the ones managing that change. They need to guide the change. They need to motivate the change that you are going through at the moment. And every step of the way, not just at the beginning, shouting from the rooftop, hey, we're going to change, and then leave it at that. No, you need to be present all the time, all the way. Take your responsibility. Nature doesn't change overnight either. It's just not like, oh, we have these mice and tomorrow we have this whole new set of mice. We have this whole new species. No, that happens gradually. It evolves, right? Guided by the boundaries of nature, species evolve. The same is true for organizations, guided by the context of an organization and the culture of an organization. Organizations evolve, but this evolution, that can be managed, and managing of that evolution, that's the task of a leader. So leaders need to guide that evolution. For example, they need to explain why a change initiative is necessary. show the way, show the path. Repeating the message is very important. So people keep hearing over and over and over again why it is important to change and how they can contribute to that change. Leaders should not do that only by talking, but also to show actions. Techniques like OKRs, objective and key results, or a lean strategy change canvas can help you drive an effective change initiative. Here, the moral of the story is that leaders need to provide the employees with a clear plan, a new direction, or with a new focus, or at least the new plan to get there, to drive this change initiative. And depending on the maturity of the organization, leaders need to set boundaries for employees, for teams, for departments. And as a team or a person in that organization, what am I allowed to do? What is my responsibility? What decisions can I take? And I know that the context, my culture, my leader will guide me through this evolution and to the right decision, where it's okay to make mistakes, because mistakes is what make us learn, and learning is what makes us better, and making us better is making us more mature.
How can leaders change the culture of the company?
Well, actually, they don't. You just don't wake up at a certain day and say, hey, today I am going to change the culture of the company, because the company is more than you alone. It's the sum of all the people, habits that have evolved during the growth of the company, during the history that the company still exists. And changing the culture is quite a challenge. The degree of success depends also on a number of things, like the size of the company, the influence you have as a leader, how much people can I actually influence in order to make changes in habits or in the culture, whether basic needs are in place for the employees. For example, if employees are not able to get food on the table by the payment that they get, then you can think of culture, but you actually have a very different problem in your organization. So thinking about culture does need a certain level of basic needs for your employees. People will otherwise focus on other things than your cultural organization. So if you do start, lead by values and walk the talk, show them what you expect from other people, and not just by telling these values and leave it like that. Live those values, breathe those values, show that you think these values are important. If you want to emphasize respect, you cannot show up late in a meeting. You show up on time, and you are prepared, and you have time after the meeting to do whatever it takes to make sure that the meeting as a whole is a good closed action, that people really get something out of the meeting, that it's valuable. With every change initiative, start with what you do now and pursue incremental change, evolutionary change. Don't focus on all the values that you would like to have in your company. Don't focus on the complete culture. You will drown eventually. Focus on the values that you think are really valuable for your organization, that you want to grow and achieve, and see in all that your employees, that they have the same values. For you to truly understand how you can change culture in an organization, you need to lead with values, but you also need to know what motivates your people. Why are people doing what they are doing? And there are tools out there. For example, sometimes I use moving motivators, which tells me why people are motivated in making certain decisions, in taking certain actions. And that helps you to drive your cultural change. important here is also to keep your goal in mind and focus on what's happening today. How can I go from today, what's happening today, to the value, to the culture that I desire tomorrow? Stay close to the day-to-day reality of your co-workers, and of course, create small and fast feedback loops. And last but not least, be open for feedback yourself, as you are not perfect too.